Well, would you look at that? Just look at it. You already know what that is. It's the Toyota Supra. However, this is the final edition, and it's kind of a bittersweet moment because really what they did here was they took the existing 3.0 GR Premium, which is the inline six-cylinder, which I love, and then they garnished it with things that are nonsense to me. Look, I don't know, let's look at the red mirror caps, the red brake calipers, the GR sticker, this, I don't know what you would call that at the very bottom, and this, that's not even a canard. I don't even know what that is. That is the weirdest, ugliest thing I've ever seen. The headlights are, I don't know if they're even matrix headlights, which are now legal in the US. They do have the BMW auto glow for the high beams, but they don't swivel or do anything else that I can tell. No fog lights. So it doesn't really have much going on for it other than this paint color, which is called Undercover. I think they should have done a color called Nightcrawler, because this would be the replacement to the car in the film Nightcrawler. I think this would be a better vehicle for any of that. But anyway, if you haven't seen Nightcrawler, go watch Nightcrawler. They have this carbon fiber tail spoiler, and other than that, I mean, it's still a Supra. And the sticker price, this gets me. This is what Toyota has done lately, and it really pisses me off. This car, when it came out with the six-cylinder, not in 2020 but in 2021, which was the higher output engine, you can get for like $56,000 window sticker. But the dealers, all right, this is where it made no sense. The dealers wanted like $10,000 markup, even if they had a car in yellow in stock just sitting around. The dealers killed the sale of these cars, because for $65,000 you can go over to BMW, which is the car manufacturer that actually makes this. You can actually go to BMW and get a BMW M2 at a discount. So the people that bought the Supra only knew one thing, and that is when they bought one of these, it really wasn't going to depreciate. But good luck finding one that hasn't been modified, and good luck finding one that has low miles, that has never been fully driven hard. If you want something that's been babied and pampered, it ain't gonna be a Supra. Because let me tell you, these cars do not go slowly. You have to drive them. It's getting windy. Let's go inside. Notice the eggshell matte look to the paint. And when we get inside, typical Supra. Oh yeah, check it out. 1,300 of the final edition will be made. The rest of it inside is all the same. There's nothing in here other than, well, red seatbelts. And yeah, I think not like you're gonna care. Do they match? I think they match. That's pretty clever. Start this up even though, oh yeah, manual transmission, which you can get on the 3.0 Premium. What I do know is that while the manual is fun and it is engaging, and if you're a man who is one of those typical ADHD people, you will be using all four limbs driving a manual. Your left foot is on the clutch, your right foot is on the gas pedal, your left hand is on the steering wheel, and your right hand, boom, is over here. What you do with your third leg is up to you, but I'm pretty sure you'll be seeing it in this car. So the funny thing here is the final edition. Okay, let me just get it to you, because it doesn't make any sense here. You know what Toyota did, right, was they outsourced it, right? So they went to BMW and they said, "Can you make us a coupe?" And then what they decided to do is take the BMW Z4 and then put a roof on it, and here you are, you have a Supra. And I can tell you BMW makes it because, I mean, beyond the BMW parts that are in there, let's see if I can do this. See that? Would you look at that? Manufactured by BMW. So yeah, even though I think these are made in Austria, I haven't really checked. It doesn't matter, right? Because what some genius, okay, at Toyota did was they said, okay, well, you build the cars and then we'll sell them. And then they probably make a good $15,000 on each one of these cars that they sell. But then the dealer goes, yeah, but we're going to make 10 grand too. So we're going to charge 10,000 over. And then what happens is these people buy these cars and then they realize how small they are and how hard it is to get in and out of this, because getting out of it feels like you're being given birth to every single time. And then basically, you know, these cars come up on the market and they're low mileage because they're not daily drivers, because they don't make great daily drivers. And then what happens is you see them for sale for $55,000 because basically they haven't depreciated, except no one realizes that someone paid the dealer 10 grand for the pleasure of driving the car. The dealer is stealing from you. So what I would say is don't buy a Supra from a dealer. Just don't. Let them sit on inventory. Let them sit on it for 2 years and then buy one. Because then what you get is a, you know, I'm sure you can find a 2024 manual carbon fiber or the A91, all of which I have driven. And maybe you'll finally be able to get one at a decent price. But I wouldn't buy one of these brand new. Not until the dealer suffers. But it seems like Toyota had this master plan, some MBA genius who decided we're gonna offshore everything and then we're just gonna bank fat cash. And then our stupid customers are going to go buy them. And that's the funny part. This was, up until the Tundra came out, this was the most powerful Toyota ever made, even though it's not a Toyota, which is hilarious. And then, you know, considering the fact that if you get an M2, you know, you get the BMW level of service at the dealers. Here you get the Toyota level of service, which I would never want to experience in my life. So here we are, you know, we're basically in a BMW, which is basically the cheapest, most powerful BMW you can buy, except for when you get the version that has these embossed headrests, or the red seatbelts, or the red mirror caps. All that garnish, okay, comes at a price. And, you know, let me shock you, right? Because this is absurd. Okay, Toyota is always okay, so the Lexus is a Toyota brand. The GX 550 over Trail Plus, the Tacoma TRD Pro, the 4Runner TRD Pro, the Grand Highlander, the Lexus TX, the Sequoia TRD Pro, all of those things are over $75,000. And not to be outdone, what Toyota has managed to do here was take the Supra and make it $73,000. And that's before the dealer decides to bend you over. But this is what you're going to get. A starting price of $68,000. And what that includes is the same engine that you get in the 3.0 GR Premium, which is, it says 382 horsepower, although I gotta say, I've driven cars with more power and it feels, definitely this feels like 400 horsepower. You get that ducktail spoiler, a matte black rear Supra emblem. It's all garnish. It's all, nothing I see here is anything different, okay? Except for the garnish. And then, of course, your GT4 style pack, which is an option on the final edition. And yeah, there it is right there, final edition. And the funny thing is, I thought maybe they were just going to stop making the other versions, but they still make the 2.0 and the 3.0 GRs. So I don't understand who's going to be buying this one for $20,000 more, or maybe 10. By the time the dealer gets to you, maybe 50,000. You can get two M2s. Just buy two M2s. It'll save you more money than dealing with a stupid Toyota dealer. Every one of them. I have no mercy on these Toyota dealers. So basically, they've done some changes. The first change I can notice is here. When you drive with the windows down in the older, the same version, but the whatever. The 2020s to 2020 maybe the 25s. I've now noticed that they added this here, right? And this reduces all the buffeting that you get when the windows are down in this car. So when you're driving along at 35 miles an hour, there's no more buffeting. So they finally fixed that. I know some people were 3D printing their own and sticking some stuff on there. It's amazing that Toyota figured this out. It took them years. Good job, Toyota. Someone decided we're going to have to spend like $3,000 to engineer something. And they finally did it. So much for saying, you know, Toyotas are dependable and reliable, and they're like solid state, and they hardly change. That's what you get when you deal with a car company that doesn't shift and make changes immediately to address customer concerns. That took years, right there. That little piece took years. Wow. The rest of this car, let me just tell you. Well, let me put my seatbelt on. And now, yes, I'm not going to do donuts. Don't worry. Those aren't my tire tracks. This is not my car. These are not my tires. This is my fuel, though. Yep. Same exhaust. And that's regular mode. Sport mode. Yeah. Burble. No donuts, no donuts. Okay. The point I want to make is, this thing is fast and it's fun. Traction control killed it. Why do we have to deal with that? Hold on a second. No. Traction off. There we go. Maximum traction. So this has a limited slip rear diff. I don't think I've ever really liberated a Supra for you. Until now. Oh, yeah, baby. All right. So yeah, it can move. That's what you buy this for. You buy this for therapy. You know, you have an argument. You want to make a statement. You want to exit. Yeah, this is your exit right here. So yeah, I think that's the best thing I can say. You know, there's a lot of noise in here, but you know, when you have a car that you want to be sporty, it needs to be light. And when it's light, it's not going to have like acoustic dampening and all this other stuff. And you're going to get noise, vibration, and harshness. It's just it's a feature. But yeah, you can move in this thing. 0 to 60 in the manual is like 3.9, but you can tell I'm not shifting like Mario Andretti here. That's why I like the automatic. The ZF8 just makes this thing even more nuclear. But this turbo is on, it's a twin scroll turbo. It's a BMW thing. It definitely, you hear it, and I don't know why you'd buy one of these and mod it. You just want turnkey performance, and here it is. If you're Gen X, you know, you can write the check, and if you're a millennial, well, you're still gonna have to wait, I guess. Pay off your student loans first. So, it goes without saying, though, the bittersweetness of having a car like this in my possession for a week is knowing that I still want one, and I will never buy a new one, and I will never give 10 grand over to a Toyota dealer just to buy one. And I will buy a used one, and I don't think these will ever hit $20,000. They will never really depreciate to that point, because if you think about it, this is the smallest footprint, largest horsepower output. Even though it's not naturally aspirated, it is not electrified. And I don't think you will ever see a sports car like this again. when people ask me, hey, what's a good sports car for under 70 grand? They've always asked that, and I've always said, you're in it. It's the Supra. Supra, Supra, Supra. It used to be the Miata was the answer. Just get a Supra, bro. So that's kind of my point, is, they have these nostalgic, what do you want to say, like, monumental, I don't know, there's like these deep thought videos out there, and one of them says, one day you were out as a kid on the street playing with your friends, never knowing that was the last time you were all going to be together. And what Toyota has done here was put out a final edition, and I think that you really need to understand what is going on here, and that is the dealers were killing the sales of this car, and Toyota has decided to do their own version and not work with BMW. And what we're playing with right here is probably the last time I'll ever drive a brand new Supra Mark V. And what they did was they made it very obvious by making this limited edition, 1,300 produced, and saying, hey, this is the end. Take the hint. But again, the dealers are going to get involved, and they're going to, strong arm you into paying more than sticker, which I would never do. I would never pay more than sticker for a car. Oh my God. Even with this kind of power, and as fun as the manual is, don't worry, I'm holding the camera with my third leg. Let's go left. We'll do that. I think it's just very important to convey to you what you're missing out on. Your FOMO should be kicking in about right now. What I will say is, don't worry about this stereo. It's always been underwhelming, this JBL system. They made a tweak in 2024 to make it sound better, but I don't know why they did a boombox with 2 rear subs. They don't really actually do anything. It just, I'll get back to... You can never drive this slowly, I'll say that. It just effortlessly screams to past the speed limit. I did have a BMW M Roadster. I owned one, and then I sold it like a year ago. And I haven't driven a manual ever since. And getting back into this manual, this car feels very much the same, because it pretty much is the lineage of that original C3 with the M3 engine. But do I miss this? Do I feel like this is like the ultimate car? Not really. I just know that back in the day, when I was a kid, the cars that we couldn't buy yet or couldn't even drive yet because we didn't have a license. Now what I'm seeing are, younger Gen Z actually buying older, worn out versions of those cars from back in the day and pouring their heart and soul into it to live their dream or live their best life. And here is a turnkey version of something that I bought it's 26 years old. I bought a car that was a 2000 M Roadster, and this car feels the same. It feels like a new version of that. And it's why would I dump so much money into an old car when I can just have a brand new one? And then, if I was an idiot and paid 10 grand markup at the dealer, and I would walk away from that money when I sell this thing, I would still know that for the price I can get for this when I sell it, I wouldn't be losing any money like I would if I bought a used 20-year-old classic to try and chase that dream, you know? And here we are driving the dream, and now Toyota's saying, nope, it's ending. You know, we're gonna kill it off. And I don't know what Toyota's gonna bring to the game when they do their own version of the Supra in 2027, apparently. But I feel like, you know, we have limited time, and to know that, like, this is my last time being able to play with one, and if I want to continue part of me wanted to just shut up and drive and then just leave you with a fade to black, and then a part of me just said no, we need to have a talk. But this is what I ended up doing. So I hope you like and subscribe, and leave a comment below. Do you think the dealers were responsible for the lackluster Supra sales? I mean, they were just so pathetic. The dealers were just such assholes and annoying, and wanted to, like, make everything about this car super difficult. And what it should have been was they should have had 20 on the lot at any given time and just sold the crap out of these, and they would have dominated. And instead, this whole greed thing, which is what Toyota is even doing right now with the sticker price of this version, it's nonsensical. It's a bunch of MBA retards. Every one of you, every single MBA grad, you are a frickin' retard. You know, you had this, you know, degree, and you think you know more than anybody else out there, and the reality is people are not falling for the bull. There's just too much bull out there, and people are going to do other things, and the first thing they're going to do is vote with their money. And when you come out with an addition that's like, oh, okay, this is it, we're finally done here. But the dealers were done with you a long time ago, and the dealers were done with their customers a long time ago. It just shows, like, you know, you couldn't even do a Supra by yourself. You had to use BMW to do it. So, you know, the next round of Supra may make this car look like the best Toyota ever made. And I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for watching.